This is TOS Television, your digital-first Pan-African news network. I am Abigail Ukmade, and this is Africa Now. 25-year-old secretarial graduate M'Mah Sylla was allegedly raped by doctors at a private clinic in Conakry, Guinea. The victim died on November 20th in Tunis, where she had been evacuated for treatment following the alleged rape. The authorities have indicted and arrested 3 people in connection with the case. They will be charged with rape, abortion, administration of harmful substances, risk caused to others, and complicity, a press release from the public prosecutor said. The highest number of children recruited into conflict by any region in the world is recorded in West and Central Africa, and the number is growing, the UN's Children Agency said on Tuesday. About 21,000 children have been verified by the United Nations as being recruited by armed forces and non-state armed groups in the region between 2016 and 2020. UNICEF also said West and Central Africa had the highest number of child victims of sexual violence in the world and the second highest number of abductions in the same period. Now to politics. A probe into violations committed against protesters since the military takeover on October 25 has commenced, Sudan's newly reinstated Prime Minister Abdallah Hamdok said, according to a statement from his office. Hamdok's comments came during a meeting on Tuesday evening with a group from the Forces of Freedom and Change, the main civilian coalition opposing the military rule. The group stressed during the meeting the importance of laying out a roadmap to implementing the political agreements, reversing all political appointments that took place after the military takeover, and reinstating all those who were fired during that period. National reform consultations in Mali that were scheduled for December have been postponed to an unspecified date, organizers said on Monday. This is likely to further delay a much-anticipated decision on the calendar for post-coup elections and transition to constitutional rule. The head of the high-level panel overseeing the discussion said the date has been pushed back because participants wanted to find the broadest possible consensus. A new schedule will be announced in due course, he says. Less than a year after he took up the role as United Nations Libya mediator, Jan Kubis is stepping down, a UN spokesman said on Tuesday, a month before planned elections in the country. The United Nations is informally suggesting veteran British diplomat Nicholas Kay as replacement, said diplomat speaking on condition of anonymity. After the NATO-backed overthrow of long-time autocrat Muammar Gaddafi in 2011, Libya was thrown into war. As part of a roadmap to end Libya's civil war, parliamentary and presidential elections were demanded by a UN political forum last year. This is your digital-first Pan-African news network, TOS Television. You're watching Africa Now. More stories coming your way after the break, so stay tuned. Welcome back. Many of Burkina Faso's 49 gendarmes killed in a recent strike on a security post were buried on Tuesday in a mass ceremony, even as the government reported the killing of around 20 more military police and civilians in a separate attack. The escalating bloodshed has provoked protests and calls for President Roch Kabore to resign over the authorities' failure to curb a 4-year Islamist insurgency. The November 14 attack near the northern Burkinabe town of Inata was the worst loss suffered by the state security forces in recent years. Now, the Ivorian President Alassane Ouattara has announced the recruitment of 3,000 soldiers in 2022 in a bid to strengthen the country's defense system. The measure is in response to the growing terrorist threat, which has seen several attacks by armed groups in the north of the country. Now, moving away from matters of insecurity, South Africa's Mines Ministry will drive black empowerment in the industry through amendments to existing legislations, it said on Tuesday, after electing not to appeal a September High Court ruling that its 2018 mining charter is not legally binding. The charter, seen as a key tool for transformation, included clauses saying mining firms had to procure 70% of goods and 80% of services from black-owned companies, and that black ownership levels in South African mining companies should increase to 30%. The ministry will seek to resolve the legal uncertainty by amending existing legislation to strengthen provisions for transformation. Still in South Africa, the Minister of Education, Blade Nzimande, revealed that universities are owed more than $700 million in fees due between 2010 and 2020, with historically disadvantaged institutions bearing the brunt of the cost. According to the minister, more than 100,000 degrees or certificates were withheld because of lack of payment over the period. South Africa's education experts say that the new approach to tertiary funding needs to be put forward. On the other hand, students are calling for free education in the country. Now, Malawi's Agriculture Ministry has written to former world heavyweight boxing champion Mike Tyson to be the ambassador for the country's cannabis. Minister Lobin Lowe said the legislation of cannabis last year in Malawi had created opportunities locally and internationally. Tyson is also an entrepreneur and has invested in a cannabis farm. And that is it on Africa Now. For more updates, to visit our website at www.TOS TVNetwork.com. Follow us and like our social media handles on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And remember to subscribe on YouTube. To stay with us and enjoy more programs on TOS Television Network. I am Abigail Lukwade. Thanks for watching.